Yeah, do verticals, because fuck it. Make it rain. Make it rain. So it's been meaning to kind of do these verticals more often anyway, so I figured do so for a little vindication. Try to be better. Alright, once we get inside, grab the doggo, we'll get right on it. We're getting the Workman's Vindication right all up in that bitch. Just got the dog first and all that shit. Which I know he's gonna be a crazy boy. He'll be a psycho. Yep. Sweet. What up, bro? Mom says hi. What's up, man? A little long time no chat. Yo, actually, you should stick around for a little bit because I got some shit to tell you. That's why I'm doing this, actually. No, you want to see someone that I think you love? You miss this boy? Oh my goodness. Yes. Oh my goodness. Crazy boy. Crazy mom. Crazy. Psycho. Cocaine. Propane. Crazy. Psycho. Propane. Cocaine. Crazy. Psycho. Propane. Cocaine. Crazy. Psycho. Propane. Cocaine. What? Psycho. Propane. Cocaine. Crazy. Psycho. Cocaine. Crazy. Crazy. God, I'm going nuts. Just a crazy boy. Anyway, make sure the door's closed. Yeah. Okay. You work today? Yep, and I got some shit to tell you about that. Man, I got I don't know if you've heard anything from anyone else from the old workplace, but dude, it has been fucking bullshit and dog shit for fucking days now, or for months, at least especially the past month. Okay, I'm ready? All right, here, give me one sec, because I want to have Rose pop in here too, because he said he wanted me to share this with him, because I know YouTube's kind of retarded with him, so here, just give me 5 seconds. Just to do this really quick. Okay, there we go. All right, just had a shared link. But here, let me get a bowl going here, and I'll let you know. But here, I'll kind of give you a lead up, because we got a new store director. Because I'm sure you know of old Missy. She moved to Westland or whatever, so now she works at a store over there. And we've had this new store director for a while, but now it's at a point where pretty much I think she's pretty much vilifying herself, to everybody, because it's to the point where every department, most people in that store are just kind of getting sick of bullshit, and definitely having this kind of sense of strong animosity about the fucking place. It's just been ridiculous, dude. Fucking nuts. But, the scuttlebutt of today, though, is even extra. So I definitely want to, rain down on that a little bit, because it just kind of vindicates what I was saying from the other night. Because, there's just been this strong, hard, push to, pretty much, crack down on every nitpick, tiny little fucking thing. And it's getting to the point where even my own department manager is just fucking done with it. I'm sure you know her. She's still there, but at this rate, probably not much longer. Because after today, what the store director did to her, bruh, it is a bruh moment for sure. Ooh. Oh, that felt good. Oh, that felt so good. Oh, it felt so good. But, yeah, at least, before I kind of get too further in that, I mean, she's been nitpicking on my shit, too. And, when it comes to my lunch breaks or my fucking, just my regular breaks and shit, which seems like now it's, the main focus, but I mean, I told my department manager, even for a day, it's hey, I've been minding my PSQs, and, it's as far as I can tell, I'm kind of on it, especially after that stupid bullshit suspension. So, I mean, I hope that, she doesn't have, anything to nitpick me for at this point, because, I mean, outside of maybe, being slightly over on lunch break by, 5 or 6 minutes or something like that, or maybe having a 13-ish minute break instead of a 15 or whatever. I mean, besides, some things like that, I mean, unless she wants to be that nitpicky, then I'm just going to straight up be that is just ridiculous. If that's going to be the case, then everybody might as well get written the fuck up, because it's bullshit and stupid. Just fucking bonk, bro. And, so I'll at least, kind of get into what happened with today a little bit now, just kind of get it out of the way. Because, I mean, it's not a lot of details or anything, but it just kind of goes to the vindication of, my assumption about how people have been feeling there lately. Because, so one of my other, usually is, would close today, but he's running the barbecue for today. So, Skittle, he was, doing some barbecuing, and I was relieving his lunch, and both of us were outside. And my department manager followed me out there, and she straight up had fucking tears in her eyes, dude. Fucking about to burst into tears and shit, and was saying so food safety stuff. I just want to remind, because I got written up, and the whole department got written up for it about having aprons on the food container shelves or whatever the fuck and shit like that, which I haven't been doing, so that would be on other people, at that point, not me. So, but I was just saying, and I was honestly hey, I try to, I'm minding myself with that, because I know they're already hard about that type of shit, so that would be on everyone else. And she's been harping hardcore about she being the fucking store director in this case, on every fucking little thing, every tiny little goddamn thing. To the point where now she's just writing up, department managers over shit that, frankly, in some cases, maybe, they can, kind of be up on it when it comes to food safety kind of shit. But it's just when you got a busy ass day, I don't know, a goddamn Friday, it's kind of hard to keep up with every tiny little fucking thing. I mean, so, if there happens to be a hat or an apron or some shit where it shouldn't ought to be, then whatever, just fucking move it. It's and if the store director's going back there, harping and nitpicking every tiny little thing, then why don't she just move some things around a little bit? It's hey, this shouldn't be here. I'm going to move this over here, or just tell whoever left that there to not put that there. There you go. It's just fucking retarded. And even, Skittle, he's been kind of, making an assumption where it's they might be honestly trying to clean fucking house. Because that's what it seems like. They're trying to, do this whole nitpicky, like, new change of like kind of the game a little bit, I guess, and changing the fucking rules, and it's like, and it's way easier to hire others and train them on that versus trying to, make others who have been, working under a different system to adapt to that shit, right? Like, so in a way, I think this is kind of almost like a sense of trying to clean fucking house and shit, because that's really what it just kind of seems like. Like, because, I mean, with enough write-ups on your fucking record, working, then you could get terminated and fired, and shit. So that's my fucking assumption. And it's sort of saying, it's like, yeah, she's like getting on me on every tiny little thing, and it's like, and if I'm getting ripped, I'm, everyone's getting ripped up, and she was like, I can't do this bullshit. This is fucking ridiculous. I don't want to, have to like write everyone up. That, that's not who I am, kind of shit. It's like, and if that's the case, I'm just gonna go back to Salmon Creek. Fuck this. And I'm just like, hey, I'm just gonna be honest. Like, if you got a plan for that, let me, Skittle, and a few others know, because we honestly are probably going to fucking dip too. If that's the case, then we're gone. Like, honestly, because it's like, I honestly like my department manager. Like, so, and I, like working for her, and I like her being my manager. So it's like, if she's gone, then I don't want to have to deal, with a different department manager who's probably just going to hound my ass because he or she is getting their ass hounded from our store director and shit. And it'll be a different person, so they don't have that same rapport, with everybody, like she does, when it comes to my, current manager. So it's like, dead ass, if that ends up being the case, then I'm just like, well, fuck it. The people are not like that, I know. Especially if the store director right now, she's fucking like cutthroat, dude. To the point where it's like, I kind of want to know what the scuttlebutt is of like other departments specifically, because I know I got like a few buddies in other departments, so I'm just gonna kind of ask them. It's like, I'm sure, I don't know if you heard about like what's going on our side of things, but has it been that rough over here? And I guarantee it's gonna be yes. Because, I mean, at a certain point, she's literally just going to fucking, whether intentionally or unintentionally, make that entire fucking place clean house out. Well, that would be a good reason to find something else. Yep. And I was even telling Skittle today, it's like, man, because he was asking, it's like, you looking for another job? And it's like, well, yeah, but at this point, it's literally going to be priority number one, because if this shit keeps up, like, I might, we're going to fucking, it's going to be a fucking walkout, basically, from what it seems like. You're on some other shit in my dream last night. We live in the same neighborhood, and you were going about burning this bitch down. I think you made that method comment about that dog meme on Threads. My brain internalized it and made you one in my dream. Damn, dude, what the fuck? What about new seasons? Yeah, I mean, I know like some of their stores are going on strike, so I know there's definitely they definitely got their own problems, and it's one of those things where it's like, if I go there and it's all pretty much like same shit but different format kind of thing, then would it even really be that worth it? Because I mean, at that point, it's a little extra time for me to get down there, and obviously I couldn't go on my lunch breaks to come back home to check on my dog and shit like that. So I mean, it's one of those things where it's just like, I mean, yeah, but I mean, at least the last time I was talking about an interview in there, I technically would be getting a pay cut, and I'm like, I've been pretty consistent 8 years working at a store. I feel like I ought to at least get a little more than like, pretty much like a couple bucks, or at best over minimum wage. It's like 17 something or some shit. At least last time I checked, that's the starter's wage. I'm just like, okay, sure, but you would think with, since they're not necessarily union, you would, kind of like be able to kind of fuck around with, whatever wages they want. It's like, well, your starter wage could be like 19 something or whatever. Just on the virtue of experience, but guess not. Well, at least the store that I would be going to is a Union. So, I mean, some stores are, but not this. Not the one that would be I go to. Because if I went to that one, I don't think they are yet. I'll say Winco, but that's too far. Yeah, and plus I've heard too many negative things about it. I mean, honestly, I want to try to like avoid dealing with like customer service and this type of way again. You know what I mean? Like, I want to at least change it up a little bit. So, I mean, I got some ideas. Like, I actually already have like some ideas of mine as it is that I could do. I don't want to be that big of a deal. Yeah, because yeah, for me, well, you ain't the only one. You're definitely like the main person that I've heard bullshit from, obviously. But I mean, you ain't the only one. Like I've heard like how they are fucking really cutthroat about shit about certain things. So I'm like, yeah, no bueno. I think, but I don't know. It's one of those things where like I mean, I think maybe down the line, maybe, but in the more immediate term right now, like I'm thinking the pool hall that I go to, the Wichita, like I might see if they have like cook positions open because I wouldn't need an alcohol license to work there if I do that, and it's already shit that I do as it is. There's just a few extra things like making burgers and stuff like that, which whatever they ain't that big. They ain't big deal and ain't hard. So it's one of those things where even if I worked like a late night shift up until like 11 or whatever the fuck, then honestly, it wouldn't be a big deal. I would just ask for the stipulation that at least on Fridays and Saturdays, either those are my days off or I'm off by 8 or something. That'd be my only stipulation, basically. But I'm sure that'd be fine to work around that. And even if it's like a part-time gig, I can like do like like the dispensary that's around the corner too, and work part-time there. And then I can at least have a little like tips from that. So I mean, I definitely have some options. I just need to like next weekend really jump on the gun on some of this shit. Because like I've already asked at least some spots, but not everything. Because I know with dispensary, they're just like, yeah, well, as soon as you get your permit, you can apply. I mean, because they always have at least a couple positions open for various different things, but obviously we just need the license for that, which ain't that hard to get. And plus, they'll write up as long as you pass 70% of the questions, it's not that hard. Which I don't know how many questions there are, but I mean, fuck, if you only have to pass like 70%, basically at least get a C. Okay, cool. I think it's the same format about how like DMV tests work. Because I know like for food handlers and also when it comes to like driver's license, I think it's like the same premise. Like as long as you get 70% or higher, it's either like 70% or 80%. A lot of well, yeah. I mean, but when it comes to like the specifics or like handling that or shit like that, I mean it'd be a learning curve. But honestly, a learning curve I'd be okay with. So whatever. Wouldn't be a big deal to me. Mine was 80 when I got my license. Yeah, well, they might have changed it then a little bit because I remember way back in day, like when I was like 18 or 19, it was 70%. But maybe they've slightly changed it since. I know food handler's permit is a 70% or higher. I know that much. So I think DMV might have finally kind of made the requirements stricter. Because frankly, I do think they probably should. Because there are some dumb ass drivers out there, some dumb fucks. Oh, damn, that felt good. Ooh, just did a little slide, crack a pop. Tell me about it. I mean, like whenever I seem to ride my bike, there's always, when someone's pulling out of a parking lot, I always seem to get bumped, on my wheel. I never crash, at least so far. But I swear, people just don't notice if you happen to be just riding by your bike half the time, and they start rolling out when you're passing by, but they just barely nick you. Because I always go or something like that, and I'll be turned back, and I'm seeing this person just drive off, and I'm like, what the fuck? You couldn't wait? It's did you even see me? It's Jesus. I mean, they definitely need to make licensing a little bit more stricter, to be frank. Because also you got a lot of people who do illegal street racing shit, and that is just retardedly dangerous and fucking insane. And I vehemently hate those motherfuckers, with a fiery passion. And frankly, should never get a license again. At least, within a 20 to 30 year period. They're prohibited from driving if they do shit like that and are caught. And as far as I'm concerned, same with everyone affiliated with it. The crowd, they all get 5 year suspensions just for being a part of it and participating. Because fuck them too. If they happen to have a license. If not, then I guess they get lucky. Are you driving in Washington? I drive fast. Well, I mean, driving fast and driving erratically are, kind of two different things. Or just doing straight stupid shit. I mean, you're, a safe driver, I guess, outside of the, fast driving. But, I mean, you actually know what you're doing and you're not, erratic and just treat it like it's a full-on speedway. I mean, because you also know when to mind the speed limit, especially when there might be cops around and stuff, too. So, I mean, and plus, yeah, as far as I remember, a clean record. So, I mean, you know your shit. Bit of garbage. I know. That's what I'm saying. You're not stupid when you drive around and stuff. You know your shit and you know what you're doing. My friend Logan, I love him, but every now and then I think he lets the hype, get to him sometimes. And he'll get a little too erratic occasionally. He's suffered that a lot, but every now and then he'll have his moments, and I'm just sitting here oh my god, we're gonna hit something and die. Every now and then, nowhere near as often as he used to, but back in the day, man, there was times where I'm just oh Jesus Christ, we might just die. Mostly after the high school days, that's when he would be straight, kind of nutty with it. But nowadays, he is certainly a stemper that shit. I'll get at least one more bowl loaded up and get ready to go on all that shit. Then next time I come back, I'll be at the bar doing karaoke streaming and all that fun stuff. I'm wondering if I should do it vertically or just horizontal. I'll just do it horizontal like I normally do. I don't think I should, kind of maybe switch it around, do these vertical streams more often. Because I know it kind of will bump itself in the algo, especially the YouTube Shorts algorithm. So it's treated weirdly enough differently in the algorithm doing it like this. So that's well full. If you're getting a car with smiles, floors the gas. Yeah, I mean, honestly, there is some truth to that, man. There are some motherfuckers that just like to be that way. I mean, and that's why I, really honestly take driving seriously and shit, especially, predominantly, at least my entire life for the most part, being pedestrian or carpooling, so it's to me, that shit, should frankly outright be taken seriously because, I mean, especially not just for the sake of other drivers or yourself, but just for people that are, aren't driving, they're on the road. So it's just I mean, it's I mean, like the rules, that shit aren't really necessarily for yourself, but for other drivers, which I guess by proxy doesn't mean you for other people, but it's for, other drivers and for, people and pedestrians aren't driving and shit. So, I mean, and it's one of those things, can't buy by it, then too much of the dumb fuck, you know what I mean? Like, it's just one of those things, but I mean, I don't really think like the tests themselves need to be like changed. They just need to be stricter on passing them. It's like that's what I think. I mean, I guess they could be switched up, changed a little bit to be harder and stuff. But I mean, whatever. I mean, like it's really the driving portion of the test that really matters anyway. Get back before the slave driver hounds you again. I know, right? Well, I'm keeping track. I mean, I started stream on my way back home, and we only been going on for like 26 minutes. So I mean, even if I go back a little over 30 minutes, it'd be more like 35 minutes. So, I mean, I'm going to keep track of this shit. When I do lunch streams, I eyeball that shit because I know they fucking have found it on me about it before. But usually it's just because it might be 45 minutes, instead of like, 30 or 35 or something, so. And I noticed that they don't really bitch at me if I, have a break that might be 15 minutes or like 5 minutes over 30. So, as long as I just, I guess, skirt the line, they ain't gonna, yell at me. At least as far as I know. But anyway, I'll get back when I'm after work at the bar and do a little karaoke streaming and all that fun stuff. So anyway, peace out for now, and hopefully we'll have a little more fun during the night. Oh, Vindication of the Workman, yeah.